Hi!
Hi guys!
We're here at the Crumbs and Doily shop in Soho, and obviously you know Dane by now because you've seen our masterclass macaron video.
You should have, anyway.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Where we showed you all how to make macaron. Well, I say we. It's mostly Dane, really. And for that reason, I'm going to let Dane show you how to make another macaron because he is now Macaron Dane.
Yeah.
That's alright?
I think that's my nickname now.
Okay, well, let's roll with it. Cupcake, Jemma, Macaron Dane. We're kind of literal when we choose nicknames for each other. So, there's going to be some really cool Christmassy macarons today that Dane's going to show you how to make. So I'm going to just hand it over to Dane.
Hi everyone, today I'm going to show you how to make some Christmas macarons, and I'm going to keep the flavour inside really simple, but they're going to be snowman shaped. So the first thing I'm going to do is get my icing sugar and ground almonds and pop them in the food processor and blitz them until they are a fine powdery crumb. So my almonds and icing sugar are ready, and this feels nice. It's a nice fine consistency. So we're just going to take this off, and then we've got a bowl with a sift, and we're just going to sift our ground almonds and icing sugar together just to get all of those lumps out. And you don't want to push it through, just sift it, and then whatever remains, discard that. We don't need it. So we've got our sifted ingredients, and then I'm just going to take one batch of my egg whites and pop that in the bowl. And then I've also got these snowmen are going to be white, obviously, and I've got some super white, which is titanium dioxide, and that will make the macarons nice and white. And now I'm going to mix this to make a paste, and then after that I'm going to put a tiny amount of food colouring, which might seem a bit strange because these are white snowmen. It kind of counteracts the yellowness of the ground almonds. So that's all mixed in. I only added the tiniest amount of colour, and I need some cling film to cover this so it doesn't form a skin.
Oh, here it is, sir. Here's your cling film.
Thanks, Cupcake, Jemma. Lovely. Okay, so I'm just going to pop this behind me and leave that to one side while I get on with the next bit. So now I'm going to move on to making the sugar syrup. So I've got a small saucepan, I've got my caster sugar, which is going to go straight into the pan, and I've got some water that's also going to go in the pan. And I'm going to switch this on to a medium heat and get that going. Oh, that was... It's like I didn't know where the camera was. So I'm just going to get my sugar syrup going, and when that reaches 110 degrees, then I'll whack my egg whites in the mixer and get those whipping up. For the sugar syrup, I'm going to use a digital thermometer. I find these are the easiest and the most accurate, and this is such an important part of making macarons, so you want to get it correct. Cool, so that's reached 110 degrees. I'm going to keep an eye on this, but I'm going to put my egg whites into my mixing bowl and get that whisking. And all the quantities for the ingredients will be down the description box, in the description box down below, and Jemma will put those in. I'll make sure she does it.
I'll do it!
She'll do it. So what you're looking for with your egg whites is you don't want them to be whisked up to a stiff peak like you would a cold French meringue. You want them kind of in between, so they're a little bit frothy, and you want to pour the syrup in so that egg whites are whisking with the syrup. Cool, so now my syrup has reached 118 degrees. I'm going to take it off the heat and pour it slowly down the edge of the bowl, not touching the whisk. So just keep this mixing until the bowl at the bottom feels room temperature. You don't want it to be hot. So now my meringue has cooled down to room temperature, so I can stop that and get the excess off of my whisk, because you want all of the meringue. Okay, so we're not going to mix all of this in straight away because that will be really heavy with the mixture, and you'll just lose all the air you've worked so hard to get in this mixture. So we're going to just take a small spoonful, pop it into the paste that we made earlier, and just, you can be quite vigorous with this, just mix it all the way through until that's gone, and then we'll incorporate the rest back in. So I'm just folding this in nice and gently so that we don't knock too much air out. I'm kind of lifting it up and then scraping back through the middle. So what we're aiming for here is when you lift the mixture up, you'll see it ribbon back down and it will kind of float back down into the mixture, and you'll still see a few of those lines, but they won't totally disappear. And if you're unsure, it's always better to undermix than overmix. And once that's at ribbon stage, we're ready to pipe them out. So because these are going to be snowman shaped, I've made this super simple, and I've just made some really clear templates using some small cookie cutters. I just got them and drew around them. So now I'm just going to cover that with a sheet of greaseproof paper, and then we're ready to pipe. So now they're all piped out, we're just going to tap them on the surface of the table just to get rid of any air bubbles that might be in the mixture.
It's like a pizza.
It's a pizza.
It's a pizza macaron.
Now we're just going to leave these until they've formed a skin, until they're dry to the touch. And this could take up to 30 to 50 minutes depending on the weather. And, oh yeah, we're going to bake them. Yeah, okay. Yeah. And then we're going to bake them at 150 degrees for 10 minutes. So now I've paired all of my macarons up, and we're just going to fill them with some white chocolate ganache. Jemma has already got a recipe for this, so click on the link somewhere on the screen and that will take you to that recipe. But you could fill them with anything, some buttercream or some curd or some apple sauce, whatever takes your fancy. Cool, so now we're going to decorate these, and this is all the fun. So I think I need some help because I can't do this by myself.
I'll help!
Oh, and Gemma's here to help me. And she's got festive headbands!
You have to have a festive headband too.
I've
you're
got
not
the one with
I look like a
ears.
Christmas cracker.
And I look like an elf.
A furry elf. You look adorable. Okay, so we've got some royal icing. I've made royal icing a ton of times, so I'll put a link to the recipe for that in the description box as well. Just a variety of colours. We've also got some of these really cool edible paints and some glitter. This is gonna get crazy.
Yeah!
So let's do it. All right, I think we're done.
Yes.
Oh, they look so cute.
Yeah.
Now, Dane, I know how much you dislike it when I eat the macarons straight away because they're obviously at their best.
1 to 2 days later, and they're nice and squishy and chewy.
But sometimes you just can't wait
I know.
for the cute macaron to be in your mouth. So I'm gonna eat one.
Yeah.
maybe you'd like to join me.
Okay.
But before we go, don't forget that we've got a couple more festive recipes up our sleeves, so make sure that you've subscribed to my channel and you've hit the notification bell so you get an alert every time I upload, because there might be some extra ones. And maybe we can enjoy some macarons now, because it's time. Cheers. Have first?
Always, yeah.
Oh. Ooh. Yum yum.
Oh.
What happened there?
I nearly choked.
Don't choke on camera.
No.
Or anywhere else.